My name is Sarp. I'm so excited to be around all you people here, great developers, great ideas and great minds. Today, as Steve told you, the talk is going to be on how to find success as an indie developer on the App Store, building apps for your own, bootstrapping and self-funding yourself. I'm the co-founder of a small software development house called Aperto, based in Turkey, Istanbul, Turkey. And we've been developing apps since 2012. We started as an agency in the beginning. We were working with clients and entrepreneurs and small and bigger companies from all around the world, generating millions of downloads and millions of dollars of revenues for our clients and customers. And this continued for a time, but through this time, we realized in time that we weren't really living the dream. We were really having new customers and big companies or big and small companies having exciting ideas and projects and app products, but it wasn't really our dream. We didn't really feel super passionate about making other people's dreams come true. So around 2012, we decided to shift our focus towards being a product company rather than an agency, than a service company. And we reduced our size. We ditched all our clients. We just actually reduced our size to 2 people. And we started building an app of our own idea. It was called TypeAroma. It was released on April 2000. By the way, can you see the presentation? No, sorry. Still, Steve? Right.
It started with a black screen, so I wasn't sure if you pressed your buttons.
Oh, that's good. If we do play. Yeah, I did, but no. So,
hey, there we go.
Right. So yeah. Right. So let's. I don't know what's happening there. Anyways, we started at 2012. We switched to the product company model at 2015. And our first product was a graphic designer called TypeAroma, released on April 2015 again. It was, you were able to really quickly generate social graphics with it, cool looking social graphics, especially code graphics. What is update thing doing there? Let's get rid of it. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I don't know on which desktop it is. Oops. Messed it up. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, you're gonna have to deal with it. So at least the graphics on the bottom part looks cool, right? Yeah. So you can do those kind of things with the app. Just very quick. You don't need to have any design skills. The specialty is that it's all automatic. It's not something like Photoshop or anything. Maybe you know the app. It's pretty popular in the UK as well. Within a few tabs and a few settings, you're able to create such cool looking graphics. Especially the older age groups love these kind of apps. This one especially because they don't have to spend lots of time adjusting things and choosing the font, the right font and everything. So this is really popular. Our second app was a video editor called VideoRama. It's more of a traditional app, we can say. It's like a combination of Adobe After Effects, iMovie, and Final Cut, but on your mobile device. Released on March 2016, last year. You can add text layers over your videos. You can combine your photos and videos together. You can add text layers. You can add image overlays. You can add your own music, sound effects, filters, everything. Everything you can do with an iMovie or Adobe After Effects thing, you can enable this on your mobile device as well. It's literally like a Hollywood film studio. You can even add explosions or snow or rain effects on your videos, and it's immediate. And our third app that we released last week, last month actually, is a coloring book for grown-ups. Maybe you know the trend, like 50-plus-year-olds are crazy with this one, especially ladies. So we wanted to try our chances on this market as well. Not because of the 50-year-olds, of course, because the market leader here is making like $1 million of revenue per month. So it's a big, crazy area. So it's still very new. We're still going to see how it works out. And with these two apps, with the two first popular apps, TypeAroma and VideoRama, we were featured on TechCrunch. We were featured by Apple on the App Stores. We appeared on the Time magazine, on the Entrepreneur magazine, on CNET, AppAdvice, the Guardian newspaper in the UK, and all that. And we were able to go up to the second position on Product Hunt in a single day when we were featured there. And again, with these two apps, we got more than 4 million downloads right now. When you look at the Code Mobile app, actually, it says 2 million, but I think I had given that text to Steve 6 months ago. So our downloads increased quite a lot in the last couple months. We have 500,000 monthly active users at this moment. And we're around 20s and 30s with TypeAroma in the top grossing photo and video editing apps in the US, and around 30s and 40s with VideoRama. So this is the US App Store. You can't really see the top part because of the stupid notification thing. But it's the US US App Store. It's the photo video top grossing list. By the way, we are only on iOS at this moment, and we have plans to build an Android version, but hopefully it's going to happen soon. So I'd like to show you one more thing here. This is the activity in our app right now. This is from TypeAroma. This is Fabric, a system built by Twitter, and then it was acquired by Google. Anyways, this is real time right now. It just shows where our activity is throughout the world. The green dots are, the orange dots are new sessions, people opening up the app for the first time today. If you see a white circle, it's a new download, and if it's a green one, here you see a couple white ones. These are new downloads. And if you see a green one, it's someone making an in-app purchase. So sometimes we do drink contests with our small two-person company. Whenever someone buys an in-app purchase, we just take a shot and see who wins. Anyways, no green dots right now. There is some activity in the US when it's a little later when in their time zone. Sorry, I think this is really exciting because this is something we built just on our own with a super small size, and this is my passion. I love building products on our own and make it available by everyone on the planet and making a living out of it. Yeah, back to the presentation. Yeah. Go away, dock bar, yeah, all right. So the best part is that we're only two people behind these two products. It's just me and my partner Çağatay, who's got a quite strange name. You can see the signs on the C and the G. So if you see him around, you can call him Captain. The surname Kaptanoğlu means the son of a captain, so just call him Captain. So the best thing that comes with being an independent developer, small team, is that the freedom comes with it. We are able to make up our own schedule. We don't have to get up early. We don't have to spend time commuting to any work or any office. We don't even have an office anymore. We live in different parts of the city. Istanbul is super huge. It's 20 million people trying to live in some squeeze size. So we're trying to hack it. We're making up our own plan and own everything. So it's a great career path if you want to take that take the chance. Now I think we need to once again realize how lucky we are to live in these times, because I mean whatever country or city you go to, wherever you see people like sitting at a restaurant or a cafe or like spending time at waiting for a bus or something, everybody is so busy with their smartphones. I can't stop like realizing this every time I go somewhere new, especially. This kind of feels sad. Like whenever I see people around, everybody is all the time, especially when they're not doing something or when they're not busy. They're looking at their smartphones, scrolling something, like sending a message to a friend or whatever. Everybody's so busy with their phones. And this is, although this is kind of sad, I think this is an amazing opportunity for us, because it feels like we really have superpowers in our hands, isn't it? It's like, I can't stop thinking about this. You can build apps, you can build products on your own as a 1 or 2 person like team, and you can make it available, and you can just get to the pockets of all these people you see around, and it's amazing. And I think there's still a ton of money to be made on the app stores. You know, yesterday I was talking to a couple of you guys in the events and in the meetups we do after in the breaks and stuff. And like everybody says that it's so hard now, like the gold rush is over. It was much more easier like 2 or 3 years ago. But now like there are big companies, you know, Apple just at every WWDC conference, they say that they're pouring billions of dollars of revenue, they're paying billions of dollars to developers. But like, where is all this money? Like everybody says the same thing. Like only the big companies are like more, they're attracting all the money. Yeah, that's true. But there's still empty spaces, and there's still things you can do on your own to make a living of the app stores, and that's what we've been able to do. I've analyzed the top grossing photo and video category. This is again the US list. Steve, really, we need to get rid of that thing. That's, yeah, oops, no, damn it. So this is the US top grossing photo and video category. So if you got your app in the top position, if it's the #1 app on the top grossing, you're making like $7 million per month. It's the YouTube app. It's a virus. We don't know on which desktop it is. That's the problem, right? Or
It's on neither.
maybe you should detach it, just dismiss the thing, and yeah. Tomorrow, right.
Definitely not today.
Yeah. That is because of the new Xcode, right? Just, I'll blame Apple.
Has anyone downloaded it yet?
Yeah, perfect. So if you got the #1 top grossing app on the store in the photo video category, you're gonna make $7 million per month. But this is, of course, right now on the top position. There's YouTube. Of course, no one is like, we shouldn't try to be building a YouTube, you know. It's impossible. If you're around 1 and 10, you're gonna be making $250K dollars per month, which is doable because there is a startup. They had to grow a little bit because they start as 2 people, they grow to like 5 people now, and I don't think they have any investment or anything. They're still, I think, self-funded. There are friends. There's a company called Funimate from Istanbul. They're able to make more than 200K per month just on their small size. It's amazing, I think. By the way, these estimations are taken from Sensor Tower. And also we were able to validate them our own because we were in these positions as well, like with many other apps. And with our apps, we were able to see these numbers. If you're around like 10 and 50, you're making around 50K. If you're around 50 and 150, you're going to make around 20K. So I think we need to target to be somewhere around 50s and 150s. That's totally doable. And you really don't need to have some kind of scientific know-how or like deep coding knowledge or I don't know. It's totally made up of products that are like built by small indie teams that are able to do a couple things really good together, like good graphic design, good marketing, good product idea at the correct time. I'm going to get into more into detail in the following slides. So yeah, and the thing is, there is no secret formula to that. We never had. I'm never going to be able to tell you some kind of super secret growth hacking formula or a special marketing trick or some kind of super secret, super big product idea to make it happen. There is no secret formula. The only thing we did right, I think, was to work really hard on the correct product idea at the correct time, and that has brought success for us. And I've compiled this talk into 6 key points. This is like a summary of what we have achieved, what we have experienced in the last 2 years building apps for our own with these two popular apps we built. The first one is that you need to find the correct product idea. Now, when starting, of course, you're going to start with an idea. I think all of you have. How many of you have started building an app and like try to see how it does on the App Store? Try to like have your own apps. And how many of you tried that? 1, 2, yeah, like 10, 20, yeah, they're quite. I mean, the thing is, when you're starting, every one of us have ideas, and like we are excited about them. You know, like even me, like every single new day, I keep thinking of new ideas and like new features and all that. But I think the real challenge is to really find what your passion is. So it shouldn't be something really that only excites you, but I think it should be something that you're really, really passionate about so that you're never going to really be giving up if things just don't go well, because they usually don't do. So try to find something, try to find an intersection between your skills and your passion. If you like playing games, go try to build a new innovative multiplayer game idea. If you have kids, try to build some educational app for them. If you like sports, go try to build the new activity tracker that you feel like you're really going to be able to make a change. And you should also have the know-how for it, because if you have to learn something, some new technology or some new API or whatever from scratch, it's going to take a lot of time. So try to find some technology you already have experience with. And third, you need to see the market. You need to see how similar apps are doing, how, like if there is a demand for that idea or similar products on the app stores, if they're getting enough downloads, or if generally you need to measure the market demand and see how your competitors or similar apps are doing. When we were first starting 2 years ago, we were actually partnering up with a client from the US to build a photo editing app. And it was like a mobile version of Photoshop. You could do everything with it. You could do collages. You could add filters. Add again like text layers and everything. So everything you could do with Photoshop on your phone, you were able to do it on your mobile device as well, on your iPhone as well. But it was so complicated. I felt I loved working on it. I liked the app a lot, and I kept showing it to my wife every night when I get home, like to get her feedback. But she isn't really a person who's really good with technology like us. So she's not patient. She doesn't want to spend lots of time like figuring out what slider does what slider does what, or what button, what happens when you click a certain button. So she just doesn't have time to like learn all these things. So, and she said, why can't we have something more automatic? I don't want to like learn all these details and like UI and everything in this complicated app. I want to have something automatic, she said. And she said, like, why don't I like just write a text and like it just styles for me. Just I don't want to play with all the features. I just want something quick and automatic. And this immediately turned on a light bulb over my head. And I thought of doing something that does exactly what she said. A typography, a text designer that lets you just enter the text and like just through a few different buttons, you just select different styles and just creates a different style every time you press a button, and you get a cool looking graphic in a snap, right? So I was passionate about this idea for a time, and I had the know-how to do it because I had worked on similar projects before. And I looked up on the App Store that if there's a similar one, and there was only one at that time, and it was doing really well. It was around like 10 or 20 in the top downloads list. So still today, I think TypeAroma was a really good product idea to begin with. It was just in the middle of the skills, passion, and the market demand chart. However, of course, not every app we built becomes an immediate success. For example, with our latest app, we played to a very, very crowded market, and we weren't able to really create a differentiation with it. It wasn't something really unique, or it didn't really bring something new to the App Store. So we're still even struggling ourselves, even we like give talks and stuff. So I think the fourth aspect to this model is to find the correct timing. If you are late to the game, if you're like the 50th clone of a popular app category, then it's really going to be super hard for you to like organically spread, because you're a small team. You're a 1 or 2 person company. You're going to be. How are you going to be competing with all the bigger players who are going to be spending tons of marketing money on ads and everything? Like it's impossible. We need to find something unique so that it's going to be able to organically spread on its own. We don't have to like we don't have to learn. We don't have to. It should be something viral. That's the key point, I think. The more viral it is, the less money you're going to be spending on marketing, and it's going to be much more easier for you. So let's try to find ideas like that. One example I like giving regarding this is the Prism App. So you know, like the filter trend after Instagram especially came out, like every photo editing app, every app on the App Store we see try to introduce filters into their features, and pretty much all of them were the same, right? Even Apple introduced filters to their camera app, to their Photos app after the filter success of Instagram. But what Prisma did, this small company, I think they're from, I don't remember, I think they're from Eastern Europe or something. They were able to create such a filter mechanism that it turns your photos into like artistic, totally different works of art. It just makes you feel like a professional painter. So it's again full of filters, but it's a totally different new thing. And this was like super viral. Everybody was in, like, I remember seeing on my Facebook feed, every single friend of mine was using this app to share their creations. So, and everybody was asking each other, hey, how did you do this? Hey, this is the Prism app. So this is what you should do, I think. Try to make a difference. That's really important. Know-how number 2, know that it's not going to happen overnight. So, you know Angry Birds, right? It's super popular. It's one of the biggest brands now in the world. I think it's competing with Disney's Mickey Mouse or whatever. But I think nobody knew that it was their 53rd app. It was the 53rd app of the company behind it. It was Rovio, the company. It was Rovio's 53rd app that they find success with. So before that, they were almost bankrupt, but they kept on. They kept going. They kept trying new ideas, new apps, new games. They kept going, and with their 53rd try, they were able to find success. I really like this quote by Steve Jobs. He says that the only thing that separates a successful entrepreneur from a non-successful one is pure perseverance. So I really believe in this. If you build one app and if you think it's going to do well and it doesn't, just don't be sad. It's normal. You just need to keep trying and be patient about it. It might just not work in the first time, but if you keep trying new ideas, new, in the end, I think it's going to come to a point where you're going to find some success. And with each new iteration, you learn new things. You gain more experience, so it's going to increase your chances of success in the longer term. Another thing I really recommend is to make a plan before you start. So make a budget and save up some money before you start. So it's not like something like a weekend project or something. You're going to have to plan for it. I think you should save up at least a year's money on your bank account before you start, because even if after you release your app, it's gonna take time for it to spread. Even if you have built something unique and has a huge potential, it's gonna need time for people to discover it. You're not gonna be able to make a huge marketing campaign for it because you're gonna wait for it to spread organically. And this requires time. Also, you really, I think, shouldn't be thinking about earning money a lot, because I think it kills your creativity. I think you should your mind should be free. If I keep thinking about money, and if I keep thinking about how I'm going to survive, how can I be creative? It's impossible. I need to be able to play with different ideas, try and fail for weeks and months, so that I think that's the only way to be creative, to be free, to have a free state of mind and not be thinking about money. So I think at least a year's time is enough, just enough time for it. I think you should keep your development time between 3 and 6 months. If you're building something in shorter than 3 months' time, I think you're working on a very, very small idea. I don't think you're going to be able to make it with just a 3-month development time. I think the bar is too high now for simpler apps to survive on the App Store. But if you're spending more than 6 months' time, then I think you're working on something quite a wrong idea, maybe. For example, with VideoRama, with our second app, we spent 9 months, and we keep saying that it was a super long time. We didn't really need to add that much features to the app. We could have just finished it in 6 months as well. So try to keep it between 3 and 6 months, and try to do MVPs and try to ship your app as soon as possible, so you're going to be able to get feedback from your users. Number 3, I think this is one of the most important ones. We are still struggling with it. We are still discussing and arguing with my partner here to be able to stick to this all the time, because we have new ideas every month when I wake up. I keep scrolling the App Store, seeing new apps and or competitors publishing new features, and I can't stop implementing all these into our apps as well. But this is a really dangerous urge, I think, because we have a limited time, and we can't do everything at once. We need to either choose. We need to very carefully choose what we're going to spend our time on, because we are a small team. We don't have infinite time. We don't have many developers, and I think we should, at least in the beginning, you should be building only one quality app, and you should be focusing all your effort into it. Even if it doesn't work out, just don't keep trying different app ideas. It's dangerous. Even if you release one app and if it's like doing, I don't know, a couple hundred bucks on the App Store, you tend to earn like, hey, I'm earning like 3-4K with this app, and why do I build another one? Why don't I build another one and just double my revenues? Just don't do it. It's dangerous, I think. Just focus on one thing and do it real well. I think it's one of the biggest strategies small teams need to have. And when thinking of your app idea, also think of your monetization model as well. Even if you, when I meet with entrepreneurs and like app developers around, I sometimes see people who haven't really thought of their monetization model that much. They have built an amazing app, but they really don't know how to monetize it. They think they're gonna just put it on the App Store and get like millions of downloads right away, and they're just gonna figure how to monetize it afterwards. That is, I think, quite wrong. I think you need to be trying to make money from day one, even if it's like $1 when you first put it on the App Store. I think it's a success. So try to make your first $100. It could be in a week, it could be in a day, but it's a success. If you can make $100, then it means that you can make $100,000 out of it as well. It's the same thing. You just scale it up. So, celebrate this success. Focus on making your first $100. And remember, this isn't like really building like a crazy startup. You're just trying to build something, find a niche, special product idea that is able to be that is going to be able to let you make a living out of it. So don't think about VCs. Don't think it like a startup. Don't think about like investments or anything. Just focus on earning your own money, and then after a year or after 2 years, you can think of growing it. I think that's more valuable. Everywhere we see stories about like big companies, I think it's a big distraction. Everywhere we see stories and news about companies getting tons of millions of dollars of investment, or like small companies being acquired by bigger ones. But I think it's a huge distraction. It's not something that happens all the time. Nobody wants to write about small teams struggling to earn a couple $100,000 bucks on the App Store. It's something the media doesn't really like talking about, but I think it's what you should do. It's what you should turn your eyes off so that it's not going to be distracting you. Just focus on your small idea and try to make your first dollars out of it. Number 4, get ready to wear multiple hats at once. So since you're going to be a 1 or 2 person team, you're going to have to do everything on your own. You're going to have to learn some kind of marketing. When we first released our first app, TypeAroma, for instance, it was like a drop in the ocean. Like we got 50 downloads on the first day, and that's what's going to happen to you as well. If you build an app, even if it's like the best app on the surface of the earth, you're going to get 50 downloads on your first day, because most probably you're not going to have, again, huge marketing budgets, or like you're going to have trouble getting featured immediately by Apple on the App Store or whatever. So it's really hard. You need to learn marketing. You need to learn App Store optimization. You need to learn the law or the regulations or the rules for you to make proper contracts with whatever freelancer or company you're working with, if you need that one. You're going to have to like do your own accounting. You're even going to have to clean your own floor. So get ready for it. It's not like being a part of a bigger company. You're going to have to do everything on your own. Get ready for it. Especially for us developers, I think we think like after we write the code, we think like it's almost over now. It also happens to me a lot. On the days I don't write code, I feel like I'm not getting any work done, but it's actually not true, because I think coding is only like 1/3 of the job. So there are like 70% more things that you need to figure out for your product to succeed and make you money. One thing you can do to ease your work regarding this is to maybe find a partner. Since you're not going to be able to be doing everything on your own, try to find a co-founder for yourself and try to make it someone who's got complementary skills with you. So for example, with my partner, Çağatay, he's better on the back-end side, while I'm better on the front end. I do graphics design while he does accounting. I do customer support while he does operations and stuff. So we both each other, like both of us keep trying to outsource each other things we're not really good at or specialized at. So it just really makes a difference. And you're going to have to become a generalist, you know, to be able to survive if you take this path. If you were working for a company, it's better to be a specialist, I think. But if you're choosing this path, get ready to become a generalist. Right. So number 5, you need to make it simple, fast, and beautiful. I think this is you see everywhere. You need to make simple, fast, and beautiful apps. And this you see here is a goldfish. I like this. I like giving this example out regarding this. You know, the goldfish. A study by Microsoft, I think, revealed that the users have an attention span of like 8 seconds now, and a goldfish has 9 seconds. So it can at most look at something without getting distracted for 9 seconds. A goldfish, but after the mobile revolution, the study found out that it's 8 seconds for users. So you just have 8 seconds when you're first onboarding your app, onboarding your users, and you need to be able to attract their attention in such a short amount of time, so that they're not gonna just go away and delete your app. One example I love giving regarding this is the Masquerade app. When I first downloaded this app, it blew my mind. It was because it immediately opened the camera and it just like made it look like Leonardo DiCaprio. It was fast, didn't need any registration or login or settings or whatever. So I think we need to copy this, make it something this fast and this mind-blowing that is able to attract the attention of your first customers when they first download your app. And invest in design and get featured. Apple especially features apps on the App Store that have got good graphic designs. Even if some apps I see some apps on the App Store that aren't really well built in terms of code, but because they have cool looking graphics and cool designs, Apple just, I've seen that Apple just features them right away. This makes a huge difference. You get like 1 million downloads in a week if you get a feature by Apple. So try to get featured by Apple. It's one of the biggest, one of the best things that can happen to you if you're a small team. All of our apps were featured, and we were able to really get benefit from it. And if you're, again, I keep saying Apple because if you want to go indie, I think there is 4 times more revenue on the Apple App Store than Google Play. So start with iOS first. If you can figure out how to make a living out of it, afterwards, later on, think about Android. Lastly, and most importantly, I think we need to keep thinking different and be positive. Like 5 years ago, when was I first starting, an office space, for example, was on the top of my needs. I needed to have an office. I needed to go and be like a traditional company where I'm going to be having employees and like giving them work. But this was so wrong, I think. I now realize that it was so wrong. Because an office space created an extra amount of work, amount of distraction for me. I got my office, and then I was in the room myself, coding all day, and I needed to like handle everything on my own, like the electricity, like gas and everything. So now I see that it was a mistake. One thing you can do maybe to lower down your cost, for instance, is to go and live at a cheaper country. I think one of the biggest reasons we were able to survive in the first year was that we were in Istanbul. It's a much cheaper city than London, for instance. And we were able to bootstrap much better and like self-fund ourselves much better that way. Like, I don't know, go to Thailand or something, go to a smaller city, go to somewhere you can have a bigger budget on. Maybe Chester could be nice. I think it's much easier to live than London. You guys know better than me. So, and keep being positive. You know, it's not a straight path to success. Like your path is going to be filled with obstacles, good and bad days. If your app gets hacked, it's not the end of the world. You're going to figure it out. You're going to fix it. If you get featured by Apple or if you get featured by some big magazine or big media company, just don't get spoiled by it. So just focus on building your company or your product slowly and organically and be patient. It's gonna, in the end, if you keep doing the right things, I think it's gonna work out. As a bonus, I don't know if you have time or Steve, do we have time left?
2 minutes, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, as a bonus, I'd like to share some tips and tricks we use that worked for us while building and marketing the apps. On first launch, we always test with a small country. So we don't immediately, especially when it's your first launch on the App Store, test with a small country because you never know. Again, you're not going to have big QA teams or like testers that are going to be able to test every little feature, every little detail in your app. So test with a small country. For example, we always start with Australia and New Zealand because we are targeting the US and Canada and UK markets. So these two countries have similar spending styles and demographics when about the App Store. So we start with New Zealand or maybe France, something. Yeah, I don't know, but test with a small country first, so that if there's a bug on your app, it just doesn't get be discovered by the whole world. Next, we always soft launch. You see, this is actually something different we do from other people. Everyone says that you need to keep preparing your like user base, your fans, or like you need to like build a community of users before you launch your product. But this isn't something we really do. We always soft launch and like try to go slowly. And we first release as a paid app and then include the mechanism to convert it to a free app after some time. So this really worked quite well for us. You know, there are like many websites and apps on the web that track and like scrape apps that are turning free from paid. So we first start as a paid app and like wait like a predator in the bushes for Apple to feature us, especially when we're sure that we're gonna get a feature from Apple. We immediately combine that feature by turning into the freemium model. And like it just boosts and it just multiplies the downloads, the exposure we get from all these features. Because when an app turns free from a paid version, all these scrapers, all these sites that are like publishing news about these apps turning to free from a paid model, it just automatically gives you downloads. And if it's combined with the App Store feature, just boosts the downloads even more. Third, we don't like ads. We never put ads in our app. I mean, it might not be really, it might be different for you, especially if you're building like a game, like a Flappy Bird or something, you might need to put ads, but we don't like it. We'd like to be on the premium side. We don't want to disturb our users with like full screen ads or like interruptions. We try to give superior user support. We try to answer every email and answer every App Store review in like 24 hours. Even like before the switch, I was on my mobile phone. Actually, we're using Zendesk for it. So I keep like replying to user support all the time. and people love it. I think it makes a difference. And we really try to invest in small details to increase conversions. For instance, in our apps, this is one of the monetization models actually. We have the made with TypeAroma watermark in the corner of the images here. And we were thinking of, like, if you try to remove this, you're going to be taken to the in-app purchase screen. And when we were first designing that, we were thinking of adding like a cross icon here so that people are going to understand that they're going to be able to remove this by tapping on it. But then what we did was to try to be a little bit more innovative here and made it look like a rotating animation. Like you see here, it's very low quality, but it says tap to remove this logo. So this increased conversions by 50%. So just with these small details, we were able to get like 50% more revenues from our app. So it's, these are, I think, really super important. So yeah, thank you for your time. Again, my name is Sarp. You can reach me through my email or Twitter. I love brainstorming app ideas. I'd love to hear what you're working on building. Just send me email anytime. And I've also put a couple promo codes for our apps also. You can go to these addresses and like unlock everything in the apps for free. We have like, I think it's enough for everyone in this conference. Just unlocks everything in the apps for free. And thank you. Questions?